Hello, everyone. Welcome to our 7th Battlefield podcast. First things first, I apologize if my voice sounds a little weird. I'm slightly under the weather, so if I cough during the podcast, I'll try to mute myself as best as I can, but I do apologize in advance. So today we are joined by a returning guest, Maple, and two guests this week, so Evil the Cat and Soul Glow, who make, from what Maple has told me, the Battlefield and Chicken podcast. So I'll let them present themselves real quick, and then we're going to get into the topics of the day.
How you doing? Evil the Cat. Sorry to say it is Chicken and Battlefield.
My bad. Chicken and Battlefield.
Yeah, people look on Twitter like, where's Battlefield and Chicken? And can't find it. But, Evil the Cat. How you guys doing? Thank you so much for having me and Vic on the podcast. Really appreciate it. It's nice to be on the other side of things. And I look forward to this episode.
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Can now.
Now we can.
If you were talking before, we couldn't.
Oh, yes, thank you. How you doing?
Awesome.
Hey, thanks for joining. I will change the phrase. Okay, I will put Chicken and Battlefield. Okay, my bad. There you go.
It doesn't matter. It's not important. It's fine.
Thanks for joining, guys, today. So indeed, Rogue will be our animator. He will ask you the question, guys. So we will all listen carefully. Big thanks again. Thanks again, Rogue, for joining. Even with your voice, you're always there as our animator. So it's really appreciated. Okay.
All right. So obviously, the big topic here is Update 4.0 that launched last Tuesday for Battlefield 2042. I wanted to get a little bit everybody's opinion on the podcast. What am I saying? Brain is fried from the week. Everybody's thoughts on Update 4. That too. Everybody's thoughts on Update 4.0 and has it improved your overall enjoyment of the game? Do you think they're going in the right direction? And whatever you have to say about this update. So whoever wants to take the first crack at that, go ahead.
I'll say, John.
Ladies first.
Ladies first. I'm not a lady, but yeah. Right. Okay. I think for one, this is obviously a massive update. There is so much going on with this that it is quite exciting. It is really quite exciting. The one thing that bugs me a little bit, because I'm a massive sucker for the objectives, is the decrease in XP. Because I'm not the best player really as far as KD goes, but I kind of rely on a lot of XP from flag capturing and then objectives. But that's fine. I think a lot of people are going to be happy. I mean, you can see like on socials, there's a lot of positive talk about stuff. So basically what does it mean? It's been out for 5 days now, and obviously the big thing was the party chat for squads and whatnot, which is crucial. Absolutely crucial. It's what's an FPS squad-based game if you can't communicate, really? So why was that not there first? Why is it coming in like such a 6 months down the line? But anyway,
you could say a lot about that, though, can't you? Why wasn't there a lot of stuff brought in?
But exactly, yeah, so much stuff. But that being one of them. And I like the kind of they've kind of reworked the weapon attachments as well, haven't they? Because you kind of notice a lot more difference, whereas I personally couldn't feel much difference with my weapon attachments before. So that's cool. The reduction for the bolt as well. Like, isn't his missile launcher like less powerful now?
I think it is. Yeah, I don't drive vehicles that much, but I believe it is.
That's massive because they are really freaking annoying. Really annoying.
The grenade launcher, the M5 recoilless?
No, the bolt.
The bolt.
Oh,
the Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Because it's fast and annoying, and now it's had. Yeah, it's had sorted out, which it needed. It needed to do.
You act like you've been killed by the bolt more than once, Vic.
Well, it's been a few times. Yes, it has been a few times. As have many.
I jumped on last night, and well, I think I played a couple of days ago before the update, and I did really enjoy it. I had a good couple of games, and the update came out, and I thought, can I see any difference? And to be honest, I haven't played that much. I couldn't feel much difference. It's kind of on the increase. I'm enjoying myself a little bit more, and especially with the VoIP now. I jumped on last night, and I was in a squad with some guy, and just randomly started talking to him. And I said, "Oh, how you doing?" We're talking about Battlefield, past and present, and things. He said, "Yeah, I don't play with anybody anymore because all my friends are now married and they got kids, and I just come on and play by myself." And I was like, this is why they needed this communication for people who play by themselves. And I had added him as a friend. I said, anytime on, just let me know. And that is what Battlefield is all about.
I agree. That's how I met most of the people that I used to play Battlefield with, because of VoIP and just communication in past Battlefield titles, and that wasn't possible for the longest time.
And he said to me,
we could have a new EDC crew member then.
Oh, we could do, yeah. He said, I said, which is your favorite Battlefield? He said, I do like Battlefield 4, but I've got really bad memories of it because I actually forgot my girlfriend's birthday when I was playing. And she left.
Well, that's on him. That's on him. That's not on Battlefield. Don't put that on Battlefield's back.
And she left me because I didn't buy her a present. I was playing Battlefield instead.
She left for that. Oh, her loss, man. Her loss.
Maybe he dodged a bullet. You never know.
Literally.
Very good.
No, I do like the weapon attachment. You can see the advantages and the disadvantages of each attachment now. That's pretty advantageous as well. So that's good. Yeah.
What is your, let's stick on the topic of the update, what is your favorite detail about the new update, let's say, between the VoIP, the smoothness of the graphic? Is there something that you really, what is the thing that you enjoy the most from the update, if I may ask?
Smoothness.
Smoothness?
The smoothness? Okay.
It's got to run smooth. It's got to run smooth for me.
I quite like the scoreboard now, to be honest.
Yeah, you like the scoreboard?
Yeah, only because on our podcast, me and Vic are now doing a section where we're going to be naming people's funniest names from the servers that we find in game.
Gamer tags, PSAO.
So it's good to see all the gamer tags, and I saw a cool one which was instead of Wu-Tang Clan, his name was Wu-Tang Wan. I thought that was pretty funny.
And if it was Wu-Tang Obi-Wan. That's too long, isn't it? That'd be a cool one.
Yeah. Maybe we will have Platoon. I know there's someone on Twitter, he's always asking what's up with the Platoon, from day one. The third it's a Canadian. This guy is
I think he's lost track though, because he's kind of he made it to 115 now. It's 83.
He go downward.
I don't know. It's
just
confusing.
Gonna ask what day he was on.
He seems to have lost track. He doesn't know what he's doing anymore. The platoon has taken over his life. And the question,
maybe we will have a spectator.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean?
Yeah. No.
But with my personal take, I played quite a bit.
Yep.
I think I put probably maybe 15 hours already into the update, and it's all good and fine to have a good update that improves the game drastically, but it makes it so painfully obvious that the game was released way too early if they have this many things to fix. I don't mean to be negative Nancy, but it makes it obvious, having all these things being added that should have been there at launch. Obviously, VoIP should have been there at launch. The scoreboard, it just makes it really obvious that the game, if they had another year to put in dev time, we could have probably, not have to deal with all these issues as a player. I mean, we wouldn't have had to deal with all these issues, and they could have focused more on content, bringing content to the live service game, as opposed to putting all this time into fixing bugs and problems and rebalancing stuff and adding features that they didn't have time to work on, because they said legacy features, but they literally just didn't have time to make it happen before launch, And by saying legacy,
people would have waited a year.
Sorry.
Do you think people would have waited a year?
I think releasing it the way they did, I think had a very, very negative impact on their reputation. And I think releasing it a year, sure, it sucks delaying a game, and people would have been kind of angry. Some people would have been angry, but at the same time, they're humans, and they had to work through the pandemic. And I think a lot of people would have been understanding of needing to delay the game to bring something to the table that is functioning, polished, packed with content, and with live service content ready to go. And
yeah, I know what you're saying. You don't want to be negative, but it's hard not to be. You know what I mean? And like some people, this would be their first experience of Battlefield, and that what a first impression they're getting of a game which has spanned almost 20 years, and the only in Battlefield narrative has kind of taken a different turn. Now before it was rendezvousing and some awesome things you do on the battlefield, but now it's like, oh, hang on, 6 months in, only in Battlefield.
Yeah.
And they need to bring it back to the exciting moments we used to have, and the late nights and early mornings. I remember walking around like a zombie because I was playing Battlefield. So really, it's good that it's crap because I get better sleeps and I get better mornings. But I
remember going to class like half asleep because I'd be playing Battlefield 4 late into the night and destroying people on Rogue Transmission with the AA. Go ahead.
No, I was sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say it's very much like playing a Beatles record on Spotify when you could be playing a Beatles record on a turntable. That's how I see it. No comparison, really.
Yeah, it's a pretty good analogy. Yeah,
but I think they're doing it the right way, at least.
Yeah, but they need to get back on track, and you're charging full price for a product. You wouldn't go buy a car at a dealership and then be like, oh, you're gonna get the steering wheel in 6 months. It's like, no, I came here to buy a fully functioning product. I don't want to wait 6 months to be able to. No, but that's how it is.
It's true. Yeah, it's true.
Video games is one of the gaming industry is one of the only industries in which there's like no legislation on what is considered like complete. A lot of other industries, there's quality assurance, and if your product sucks, trust me, nobody's gonna buy it, and you're gonna go out of business. And gaming is kind of you can patch it. You have this thing of patching games on day one and stuff, which you don't have in a lot of other industries, but. I just always thought it was a pretty good analogy. Go and buy a car. Oh, we don't have the steering wheels yet, but you can pay full price now, but you're gonna get the steering wheel in like 6 months. That's just how it felt to me when I first jumped into Battlefield 2042. I was like, that's an interesting choice. I was like, okay.
You're not wrong. Steer wheelless car without even a payment plan.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, the update did fix a lot of the annoying bugs that I personally had. Unfortunately, a few of the ones that still annoy me are still there, such as mouse input. They didn't really fix the mouse input. The game runs a little bit better, so you have a little bit less input latency, which makes the mouse feel better. But the mouse input is still bugged at its core. So I think they really need to sit down. I think they really need to sit down and take a look at why the mouse input. Is it because there's a problem with the controller interfering with the mouse input? Something's happening in the deep in the engine that's making it so the mouse doesn't feel good. I've been playing a lot of other first-person shooters lately, and when I went back to Battlefield, man, it felt like I was using a mouse from Wish.com with like a cheap sensor. or a trackball that was dirty. You remember those disgusting mice with trackballs underneath that you had to clean?
Take the ball out.
It felt like I was using a mouse like that, and I was like, "What is up? I know it's not my mouse, and I have other mice here, good mice that I've tried, and I still have the same problem with Battlefield 2042." And
I think the top players saying the same also. The top
player. Literally, what they did is they brought the sensitivity slider in line with Battlefield 5. So now people coming over from Battlefield 5 to 2042 can literally just adjust the sensitivity slider to the same thing they had in Battlefield 5, and it'll be the same. But that all they did was adjust sensitivity numbers. They didn't really fix the core.
The net code behind it.
They didn't fix the core issue behind the mouse input. But yeah, it's kind of a swing and miss for me. That's one of the things that you want to have working in a first-person shooter. But some of the bugs that were really annoying me, like not being able to ADS after leaving a vehicle when using the SFAR, Oh my god, thank you so much for fixing that.
Yeah, this is
It
fixed.
was
Yeah,
driving me
it is.
insane. I loved using the S-Far, but I couldn't because I couldn't get in the vehicle. Drove me insane. You know?
And there's also some not a sweet spot, but there's I
I
saw a
saw
video
that.
from Danny on PC. Yeah, there's
I
different
saw that.
damage.
I'm gonna go
And,
test it out in the range later. In the
it's
secret
not
range.
always
For
5
sure.
bullet each range. It may be 4 bullet now. I just want to say that you're right, guys. Even the biggest content creator who are like super calm and super calm with the game, they say that the game should have be out at this stage. It should have been the first version that we receive now. So yeah, it's kind of a consensus to all
Mhm.
the
And I don't think like people are you can congratulate the individual devs for all the hard work they did because they don't have any say in when the game's releasing. They could
No.
they could go on the roof of Dice Sweden and yell till they run out of breath that the game's not ready for release, and they don't have any weight in the decision. So we can all give props to the devs for working so hard and putting all these bug fixes in, putting in the work to bring the game to a playable standard, but still be critical of DICE as a company in terms of in which state they decided to release the game, because that's not how it should be. And they've done it time and time again, and I think they still have they can still make a really, really solid game, be it with Battlefield 2042 or the next title that's to come out. But they just have to be careful. They have to tread carefully on how they decide to release the product. They need to regain the trust of a lot of people, and unfortunately, they've lost a lot of people that aren't going to be coming back. So that's on them.
That's the point. I think they need to listen to people, listen to the community, because they're the ones who've been playing it, like veterans and everything, and rework something like that. But definitely putting that at one of the forefronts of game production is, because it's such a unique kind of game for what it is, with destruction and things like that. I know there's loads of SPS games, but with destruction and things like that, it is really bloody unique. So they really should listen to more people who've been there for ages and know what they're talking about. People who actually know what they're talking about.
Well,
like I said to you, Vic, sorry. Would we still be playing this game if it didn't have the words Battlefield 2042 on the box or on the download?
No, I don't think so.
And are we just being loyal? Because I think it's kind of lost its identity a little bit.
Yeah.
It should be
so less than Battlefield 1, that's for sure.
It should be the industry. It's got standard. It's got its own place in the market. And people knew what Battlefield was, and now it's just with all the specialists and things, and not specialists.
And it smelled BR. It smelled like a battle royale.
The maps are way too big. Let's be honest. The maps are freaking massive.
Yep.
And there's I've been playing a lot of other games recently, most notably World War III, which is obviously a pretty strong competitor to Battlefield. And there's only 4 maps in that game, and I've been playing it a lot, like obsessively over the past couple of weeks. There's only 4 maps, and I'm not bored yet.
That's crazy.
Because the maps have substance, and there's actually like you can get some sick flanks. I was going into like the shopping mall part and like storming one of the objectives with me and my teammate. I cleared out a whole squad of 7. Damn, that felt good. Getting that sick flank off, and just clearing a whole flag and capping it. Like not to take the podcast off topic here, but I think it is a strong contender. And it's crazy to play a game that only has 4 maps and you're not yet sick of them because of how well built they are.
That's a really interesting. Sorry, John.
No, I was going to say, what's the player count on World War III? How many against?
Well, right now it's in closed beta tests, and I think a lot of people are waiting for it to drop free to play before, because it's going to drop free to play soon. And I think a lot of people are kind of waiting for it to drop because they're like, well, I'm not going to spend $15 now to buy the closed beta pack when it's going to drop free to play in next month, right? But I think it's around 2,000 to 3,000 for a 24-hour peak. But again, that's closed, So not everybody's paying the money to get in. I bought the game in 2018 when it initially came out, and they dropped the ball hard, so they took it off the store. And then they dropped the ball so hard that
Is
they
there
took.
VoIP in World War III?
Yeah.
Without indiscretion?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's, I think that 5-man squads. 5-man squads.
See that? Yeah, and you're saying about the maps being too big in 2042. You think of some of the other maps in other games, like Battlefield 4, for example, with Gormwood Railway, and that was one massive map.
I think that was the biggest map in Battlefield 4, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and sometimes just because you're not enjoying the game, it feels like the map is too big. And I think that's kind of what it is for 2042, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But there was a lot of
Yeah.
compartmentalizing combat in the maps in Battlefield 4. There was a lot of that you were playing in a server with 64 people, 32 on each side. But in the grand scheme of things, there were micro fights everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
now it's just shit's blowing up everywhere. You're getting killed by choppers nonstop. The bolt just ran you over. Like shit is hitting the fan at any given time. And that I think that's
It's a bit better now with the update, though. Speaking of, like the Bolt is now a heavy vehicle.
no, it's not. Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Oh,
The only thing that
okay.
changed was the little bird is in the attack air vehicle category, which again, I'm not sure that changed because now if somebody decides to take a Nightbird plus an attack helicopter, then you don't have a jet. And if your team doesn't decide to take a Wildcat, you got no way to deal with air vehicles.
From the attack side, yeah.
So
I observe also the. I just want to mention the Battlefield 2042 is accepting the PlayStation 5 controller natively now. You don't need the S4 Windows anymore. The thing is, with the VoIP, I think it activates the microphone in the controller like automatically. So I was like, people were like, "Bro, are you yelling? What's happening? Your mic, my mic is not even open." He said, "Yeah, I can hear you type." And
it's
it was
called
like-
passion.
It was the microphone in the controller that was activated. So
A little bit of weirdness there.
In my computer, I didn't choose my PS5 microphone, so maybe it should have an option to select the input of the audio in the game. That will fix, I think, this because I was not sure the VoIP works. Honestly, I'm still not sure. I feel like mine may not because I really had this issue with my controller. So,
But I've had people tell me that their voice over IP doesn't work at all, and they're on PC and they're not playing with controller.
okay,
Also
so
needs
maybe
tweaking.
that's okay. Maybe I'll reinstall the game, bro, because I really
not reinstall, just repair the game files. That oftentimes repairing game files will fix most of the issues
Okay.
that anybody can be having at any given time. Just make sure you save your profile,
yeah
your settings, so you don't have to redo them. Just a quick tip.
No, sorry for this interaction. I know you're not controller player here. I just wanted to say that. All right, okay.
It's fine. It's fine. That's what we're here for. But
That's
yeah,
good information that maybe not everyone knows. So now they know that they're not alone in this.
I think they did a lot of good work there, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and there's still some core design decisions that I'll never be a fan of in 2042. But that's personal and that's subjective. I know what I want to experience when I play Battlefield title, and Battlefield 2042 is kind of a miss in that department, at least for me. But hopefully,
do you know what it is, or is it hard to put your finger on?
no, it's not. No, I could pretty easily point it out, like on a dolly. Point on the dolly where the bad man touched you. It's pretty obvious where, in my opinion, they failed. It's basically chasing trends. They're just trying to copy other people when they have so much talent and good ideas. I'm sure some devs had a ton of good ideas that were shot down. And yeah, it's just chasing trends and having those big flashy marketing stuff like the tornado. I was playing yesterday and I was like, oh, the tornado again? Come on, dude. Oh, we just got this last game. It's flashy for marketing material, right? It doesn't, you see it a couple times, and after a couple of times, you're like, okay, well, I'm done with this. It's just more of a nuisance. It doesn't add much to the game. If you're not playing Sundance, you're probably going to get thrown out of the map and die. So, it's like, I don't know.
I've not even seen one penguin either.
No.
One goddamn penguin.
Disturbing lack of penguins. Disturbing.
Yeah. It would make up for everything if there was like just a whole tribe of penguins.
It's
yeah,
true.
think
I
that-
don't. But is there a place in the game that we can see the penguins actually?
I think in
one?
Breakaway there's a spot. I'm not quite sure. I had done
So
research on
sure.
Easter eggs, but I think it is on Breakaway. There's a spot on the map where you can actually go and see the penguins. But yeah, I think if they stop chasing trends and they're just focused on making a good Battlefield game instead of trying to chase that money, because
just stay in your lane. Yeah.
don't copy what Warzone's doing. They're
Or Apex.
They
Apex,
could have the trends, but keep it stationary. Don't have moving things going across. Like weather's fab, but if it's kind of, haltering your gameplay, like the tornado and things like that. But like, with the rocket, that just goes straight up. Yeah, that's just doing its own little thing. It's not crossing paths with you.
Kind of like Levolution in Battlefield 4 and the weather effects. In Paracel Storm when the storm came up.
Exactly, when the ship comes in.
Yeah.
And the storms.
And the
that's
lightning,
fine.
you could get hit by lightning in Paracel Storm. It didn't affect the whole.
Could you really?
Yeah, you could get hit by lightning in a jet. It was insane.
I need to look that up.
Yeah, the only reason you don't know that, Vic, is because you hate Paracel Storm.
It's not my favourite map at all. Yeah,
but
true.
Having those weather effects.
Now I'm gonna have to go.
It made Paracel Storm more difficult to navigate, especially if you're in a boat, because you had the waves and the freaking wind coming in and there's shit blowing all over the place. But it didn't impact the gameplay in such a negative way that you're like, oh my god, not this shit again. Kind of like the building on Siege of Shanghai. Every time I see that building fall, I'm like, oh my god, that is so cool. You look up, and it changes the map, but okay, the map might be better with the skyscraper up, but that's neither here nor there. It changes the map, and the flag's not on top anymore; it's on the bottom. If one team was only camping the top, then you're like, screw these guys, I'm going to bring that tower down. Then you can, and it changed. It didn't. I don't think it negatively impacted the gameplay as much as the tornado does. And it impacts it for such a short amount of time.
Like the tornado.
I hate it. The first time was cool. You ride it. You're like, cool, it's a freaking tornado. And now it's just like playing Breakthrough. The tornado rips through. You're like, well, shit, I guess I'm just going to die.
Try Sundance when there's a tornado. You may have
Falk. I refuse.
Okay.
Falk is the go-to. I'm a medic at my core. I'll play Falk.
Yeah.
The point is here, Rogue. The point here is, are you going to be 10 years down the line saying, oh, do you remember 2042? Do you remember the tornado that chopped everything up? Do you know how we've just spoken about Battlefield 4 maps and what happened?
Not a chance in hell.
That's the point, isn't it? It's
And sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you remember when they first showed that in gameplay footage of Battlefield 4 in Shanghai?
Oh man,
the actual and see building coming down and everything blowing up and explosion behind you, and it was epic, wasn't it? It was absolutely epic.
And every map had their own little thing, flood zone that you could break the dam and it would flood the entire map, so it was a little bit difficult to navigate, and you'd have to have bows to get around objectives, or you'd have to go through the rooftops and stuff. And Lankang Dam, you had the dam that would flood the entire part and just break everything on B flag. You had rogue transmission where the satellite would come down, crashing down, and just completely annihilate C objective, sorry. C objective. And Gold Mud Railway, you'd have the IEDs all over the map. That was really cool. Those are just a few off the top of my head.
So do you think that with 2042 that they did things, say if they did the same sort of thing as Battlefield 4, that they would have got criticised for being too similar? Or did they just think, oh, we'll try and do something completely different?
I think there's always going to be criticism no matter what they do. If you do the same thing over and over again, some people are going to be like, yeah, this is what I come for. I want this every time. I don't care if they remake the same game 20 times over. I'm still going to buy it because it's fun and that's what I come for. And then you're going to have other people say, well, there's not enough change between titles. It's just like, well, Battlefield 4 was, for a long time accused of just being Battlefield 3.5, I'm sure you guys remember, but it's still fondly remembered and widely regarded as one of the better Battlefield titles out there. And I think they just need to look back at what made those games so good and so long lasting. Hell, there's not too long ago there was more people playing Battlefield 4 on Steam than Battlefield 2042, which says something about the lasting power of that game, especially considering that it was only recently available on Steam. For the longest time, it was only on Origin. So, yeah. Yeah, but
But at the same time, it may be a good reason why the number are lower. Like honestly, I feel like people are giving too much credibility to the Steam number.
yeah,
Um,
every time I mention the Steam numbers, I always say take this with a grain of salt. It's not representative of the entirety of the player base, because you have
but
all these
even
consoles that have access to it as well that we don't have numbers for. People on Origin and EA Play,
yeah,
the EA desktop app that we don't have numbers for. But still, if you take it and you say, let's say there was 2 million copies sold, and you extrapolate the numbers on Steam, you say, okay, there's like 1 to 3% of the player base remaining. You extrapolate that across 2 million players, and it still stays pretty much the same percentage. It's still not a whole lot of people playing.
oh,
You
you're
know?
right. You're right. I see quickly. I just want to mention. I see a big content creator talking about ads in game, and he observed me that in Hourglass we can see a Logitech
Logitech, yeah,
ad.
they actually
Do you
changed that
think
ad. It was a mouse at first. Now it's just a Logitech ad.
really?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
okay.
I
Do you
don't. I,
think
I
that
don't really. I
watching
don't really
ads
care
in
about that. As long as it doesn't. As long as it's not some like they go the mobile ad route and be like pop up on your screen, be like, no, I just died because of you. I doubt they'll
no,
ever.
but before the round or between two rounds
No. Oh
or
hell
while
no.
selecting a
Hell no.
character to have
No, they
no
better not pull that shit,
special
dude.
weapon?
Mm-mm.
No,
Like
okay.
well, like a YouTube advert pops up in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
Watch this to receive 500 scrap or no? No.
No, I would not be down for that. I'm fine with product placement, and you see it in movies
I
all
have
the.
a feeling that it will came in the game.
You see it all the freaking time in movies too. Product placement. You're like, oh, I can tell freaking Samsung sponsored this movie. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
They're not
it was
interactive.
so bad. Like back in the day, remember Back to the Future? There's Pepsi everywhere. It was so
Yeah.
obvious. You could just see it in the middle, like straight in front of the camera.
There's still freaking good movies though. It didn't take away, from the movies. And obviously for a lot of movies it allows them to actually bring their projects to fruition, because if they didn't have that sweet sponsorship money, then maybe the projects would be worse off because they didn't have the money to put into the CGI or pay the nice actors or stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm not in the business. I can't talk on that. I'm fine with baked in ads in the map if it doesn't affect gameplay at all. But once they start spinning ads and it starts in between matches, you get a freaking Coca-Cola ad. Like no, man.
I mean, if the game is free,
Well,
if Battlefield became free by watching ad between rounds, will that be okay with you?
I don't. I'd rather pay $60.
Okay, yeah. You still think
Yeah,
about it
same.
a few seconds, though.
Unless it was
Uh,
KFC.
The colon cleanser, as I like to call
Yeah.
it.
$20 discount for KFC on DoorDash if you watch this. No, that goes with.
No,
with the
I
also-
think I'd
feel
rather
like
spend the
honest-
$60.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then have my time wasted by stupid ads. Time is the most valuable thing you have in this world, people. Don't let it go to waste.
No, but I mean, if you watch an ad between rounds, that you have to wait anyway for the next round. So because there's 60 seconds between rounds in Battlefield anyway. I mean, if the game is free, you watch ad between round. You watch more ads to have special item, but you play $100 game free, and there's a lot of people in the game as a player base because the game is actually free.
Mm.
yeah, that's a good one. That's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, it could be up for discussion, and we could go for hours talking about this and debating whether or not it's a good idea.
No, you're right. I was just wanted to because I feel like it's something
it's
that
an
may happen.
interesting, it's an interesting thing to think about. But at the same time, I see these AAA publishers that are publicly shared companies, and I see them with their little fingers going, "Ooh, ads in video games. How could I increase profit margins with this?" I don't see them doing it out of pure good-heartedness of offering the game for free to people. I see it as a cheap scheme to make more money off people.
I feel like people will complain if they pay $60 for a game and there's forced ad, but if the game is free, I mean that's why I'm specifying the game is free.
Yeah,
They
no,
want it to
even
be
with the
Battle
free game,
Royale.
I don't think the CEOs of these big companies, and they don't think of us. They don't think of the customers. They think of how much money will this generate? How much will it increase the shares? And how much will the shareholders be happy if I increase year-over-year profits by 10% by implementing ads into regardless of whether the game's free or not, bottom line, how much money is this going to generate? I don't see it as them making it so there's always something behind their decisions, right?
Motivation.
There's always a money-based motivation. Thank you for that. Yes, there's always something. They never do anything out of the pure goodness of their heart. I can wholeheartedly say that.
No, that's a good take, and I think that introduced well, if I can say so, the next question, which is, I mean, should DICE start to tease season 1?
I'll go first, John.
Yeah, do you think DICE should tease? Should start? Let me read the question exactly.
Should DICE start teasing season 1?
Season 1, yeah. Okay, so do you think it will be a good moment? Like now? Should they wait? Should they? What should they do?
Well, I think they should put. Well, I know the new maps come in, new specialists, but they really need a sort of close quarter map. I think because everything is so big and open, they need something like Locker or something different for Battlefield 2042 now.
Something underground?
Well, something where there's, mass chaos in a confined area. I think that's what they need. Because there's nothing there. And maybe introduce, spectator mode or something, or server mode.
I can hear Maple drooling right now.
I mean, okay. Man, I think if we have a spectator, I mean, the Battlefield community at the general demand wants to do a Battlefield 5 tournament, so I think this is what we will do. And there is a spectator mode, so it was such a pain to do a Battlefield 2042 cast that at least this will be also so much fun for us and for everyone to watch. But yeah, no spectator mode. What do you think should they said while teasing the season 1?
What should they say?
Yeah, how should they present it with the current state of the game? Like should they wait at the last second? How should they say?
I've got the exact words for this.
Go ahead.
She's been waiting. Do it.
Yeah. This will be out on time. That's the words. No delay. When we say it's coming out, it'll be out, and it'll be awesome. Yeah. That's what they need to start.
I think a lot of people are waiting to see what the game has to offer. They're like, update 4.0, it's good, but VoIP isn't content, and they're not wrong. It's not content. You can't go and put boots on the ground on VoIP. I've talked to a lot of people. And I'm like, have you been back to the game since update 4.0? And they're like, nah. There's nothing to do. I'm waiting for map changes and new stuff to come out. There's no guns. There's no freaking guns to use. There's like.
You know what? I was making some notes for the podcast, and I've written the word "guns" about 1 million times on my notes in big capital letters. Because there are no guns at all. Where the hell are the guns?
There's two LMGs.
I've just got RPG.
Two LMGs.
RPG written.
Two LMGs. Where's my sweet RPK that I can laser people from across the map with? Just anything. Just give it to us. Just the G. I don't know. Yeah.
No, you're right. There's 22 weapons, and even if the
3 guns, whoa, 22 weapons. There's 3 handguns, boy. There's 19 primary weapons.
Oh, okay, yeah, and plus the attachment make them feel a little bit different now. But like in Battlefield 5 or 1, you have like 60 weapons and the variant and things. So no, the number are not comparable.
Battlefield 4, 84 guns.
And even like I feel like. Even if some of the guns feel similar, they're gonna feel similar at some point because there's only so many freaking numbers you can change, for the guns to feel different. But just having the different gun models, or I some of the guns I used in Battlefield 4 weren't the best guns, but I used them because they look cool. And at least if I felt like I had some shitty, stupid placebo effect in my brain that says, "Damn, I'm doing really bad with this weapon. I'm going to use this other gun." Sometimes it was just a placebo effect. And at least I had the option to use something else that I enjoyed. And now you're like, there's not a whole lot there.
I feel that's my biggest gripe, is I haven't found the gun that I'm comfortable with. And there's no option to find the gun I'm comfortable with You know, with Battlefield 4, there's like a million guns you can go through until you find your gun. Like, and once you find your gun, you fall in love with it, and you think, oh yeah, this is my gun. But like I said, somebody's stolen all the guns. I don't know what game they're in, but they're not in 2042.
Those goddamn thieving bastards stealing all the weapons. Yeah.
And launchers and things. I know Vic is like, where's all the launchers?
Yeah, that is, and I'll be completely honest here. The recoilless, what is it, M5? Yeah, the recoil.
Yeah,
it's garbage. It's straight up garbage. It's so bad.
The reload time is ridiculous.
And the missile's so slow. My grandma can walk faster than that, and she's 6 feet underground.
Bro, what? No, there's nothing that
I like keeping as
satisfying.
I like keeping a lighthearted tone for somewhat negative topics, but I think a lot of people are just waiting to see what season 1 has to offer. You know, there's no amount of bug fixes that are going to bring them back. Some people don't care about the bugs; they'll deal with the bugs. They want content. They want stuff to do, and that's completely understandable. You know, if you've played Battlefield 2042 from let's say 20 hours, you've probably been through everything. Ballpark.
Yeah, it's exciting with the repositioning of the objectives on the maps. I really hope that helps, because going back to what we were saying earlier with, like, you got, do you remember in the marketing campaign when they were saying about how they'd have these little clusters, not one flag, but little clusters where fights could be kind of concentrated on. So they've got all these little, that's not happening.
No, because you got choppers interfering.
I don't see that.
You got vehicles coming in the mix.
I'm constantly running from a bolt or trying to grapple some shit. I mean, that was a good fix actually in the update. McKay's grapples a bit more. The crosshair on it, you can aim for stuff a bit better, because that was always a nightmare. But going back to it, if they can reposition the flag, like, I think was it on, they're concentrating on kaleidoscope, aren't they? But do you remember where C1 is on kaleidoscope, and you're just in that little open shit, sorry, excuse my French, open like area where there's zero cover. That kind of thing needs to change, because that's no fun. How are you supposed to find a comfortable spot to cap a flag, pan 360 and see what's going on around you when you're so freaking exposed?
There's always been maps though that's been with lack of cover on, things like Gauntlet. The G flag was wide open.
Yeah, but with Gauntlet, at least you had the gradients, didn't you? It was hilly.
You had certain flags
so you stuck behind the hill.
You had certain flags that were mostly capped by vehicles, and then you had certain flags that were mostly capped by infantry. But now most of the flags can be interfered with by vehicles. I think that's one of the biggest problems I have. There's no you can play Battlefield for whatever reason you want. You like vehicles, you like the all-out warfare, you like playing infantry. There's room for everybody, but there's not a whole lot for infantry players. I'm a mostly infantry player, and that's coming from somebody who has I played a lot of vehicles in Battlefield 4 because I find they were more fun to play, and the skill ceiling was a little bit higher. I think right now the vehicles are too dumbed down in Battlefield 2042 just to, anybody can pick up a vehicle and do relatively well with it. But that is neither here nor there. There's no I'm going to cap this flag and I'll be safe from vehicles 100%. There's always a freaking little bolt creeping around looking for me. He's like, where's that little bastard? I'm going to shoot him with my 30 mil. Salivating.
Let's remember, they will change the organization of the map.
For sure.
And so I feel like this will be, for me, like when there is flat spaces on the map in 2042, it's really flat. It's Battle Royale style flat, but it's not flat like in Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1, there was it was flat, but there was 50 denivellation to hide, to progress.
Yeah, there was microterrain. There was always somewhere to hide from whatever is trying to take your head off. Yeah.
Even a broken down wall, anything, there's just
Speaking of which, there's no they ain't nothing broken in any maps. Except maybe discarded.
No.
Discarded kind of looks like a piler, but it looks pretty dilapidated, so to speak.
When you're trying to hide, there's a lot more verticality as well in this game, so people can always look down on where you are.
And there's a lot of
buildings.
Yeah, and especially with McKay and Sundance, that it even makes the problem even worse of always having somebody having a potential of getting the drop on you because McKay can get up high.
This is so fun. They run you wall the first sector, bro. You take the rope, you go down, you land directly behind the hold people that are pushing the first sector, and you get. I know that's amazing.
But one of the things that annoys me personally, as I don't play McKay, I play Falk, is McKay's ability to run from a fight and get to somewhere that you cannot get to, and that annoys me. You know, you can be fighting
Apex stuff going on there.
You can be fighting McKay, for example, next to a container, you know, a shipping container, or 2 stacks of shipping containers, and he can be like, "Nope, I'm losing this fight. I'm out." Zip up to the container. I can't do anything against that. I'm Falk.
No, but
You can chuck a grenade because you'd have to press up, wouldn't you? To
I have smoke grenades. Yeah, but I'm just saying he has an option to get out of a fight in which I have no say or opportunity to fight him back. And then he has the high ground on top of that. So as soon as he's full health, he can just peek down and drop a C5 on me, you know? It just, having it drives me insane having to fight McKays that just pussy out of a gunfight and then get to the spot where you can do nothing about it, even if you're the better player.
Is McKay running away from you?
I constantly have McKays using their grappling hook to get up to spots I can't get to. For the simple fact that they know I can't. It drives me freaking insane.
Can you pretty much predict someone's playstyle if they're about to do that as McKay?
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. If I'm fighting...
There's a smoke grenade out there, so they can't see what they're grappling onto.
Yeah, but I mean, everything's so fat. Everything's so fat. And the smoke doesn't go up high enough anyways, you know? And plus the reticle on McKay's grappling gun is going to indicate when he's hooking onto something. So the smoke is... I understand where you're coming from in terms of you can fight this, but unfortunately you can't. And it freaking drives me crazy. I can't deal with that shit.
You think Sundance or McKay is more OP?
I think McKay's more OP. He has the 10% increased movement speed when ADS. And fighting a sniper McKay, one, he has the grappling hook so he can get up the high spots. He always has the height advantage. And 2, he strafes faster when ADSing. That is incredibly powerful. That is insanely OP, having 10% increased movement speed when aiming down sight. Good lord.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the devs realize how freaking powerful McKay is as a character. Having those 2 abilities.
Vic knows that's why she always goes McKay.
That's why you see most people either play Sundance because of her mobility. She's not as OP as McKay in my opinion. Angel, that is like the end-all character one-man army guy. Because you can have a spare kit at a moment's notice, and I have choppers annoying me. I have a spare kit with, you know, the AA launcher in there.
He can heal and revive.
He can heal and revive. He has armor, which armor is a whole other rabbit hole to go down. You know, and then you have McKay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, I still think that Sundance is more OP because let's say when you are on orbital on the K2, K1 building, yes, with McKay you can grapple the edge of the building, but if you go on the little box in front of D2, you can actually go on the roof with Sundance. The height that Sundance required before opening her wingsuit
is stupid. She would fall flat on her face.
For me, I'm jumping on the container like McKay, and I'm going on the top. And even if there's like 1-2 meters, it's enough for her to open her wingsuit and go up of the D2 building on orbital. So I feel like it's really close to McKay.
Yeah, but that's a balance problem, though. That's a problem specifically with the wingsuit. There's no way in hell you could jump 2 meters in real life and be able to open your wingsuit and gain that much velocity. Yeah. That's not how gravity works, people. No, I can tell you right now. That's not. You just fall on your face and possibly break your nose.
I wanted to touch on what Vic just said about throwing a grenade. I'm not too sure what it's like on PC, but on console you have to press 2 buttons to get to your grenade. I mean, is it just press a key on keyboard?
You can have it set to you can physically take the grenade out, or you can have a quick throw.
Yeah, on console I need to press, let's say, the up key, then I switch to smoke. I press the left the joypad and I go to grenades with Sundance. But you can change your control and put this on all L2 or R2. But yeah, there's only 16 buttons on the controller. So on computer, you have your whole keyboard. Indeed, this is like for me, I have like 5 function on the X button or or L3 light slide, crouch to hold, press to melee.
Oh my god.
So there's, but
Wow.
it's going well, bro. It's going well. I still need to adjust it. To summarize, so the tease that should they do with a yes or no? Should they start soon to taste the season 1, or should they wait to the last minute?
100% yes.
Oh, yes.
I think they should tease, yeah.
They need to start
They
giving
should.
people
I think
something to
people are
look forward
ready.
to.
People are ready for it. Definitely, they need it.
You see
So
comparisons.
tomorrow morning,
The-
tease.
Today, what time is it? 11:55. That means
half an hour.
what time is it in Sweden? It's
Yeah,
five.
hang on,
It's
hang on.
5:55. They still have time to draft something up. It ain't over.
Thanks, guys. We're
I just think we
approaching.
need new maps. Sorry, I know something. We need new
But
maps.
do you think they should tease a
Quad
new map
bikes. I
before
want
the
a quad
season
bike.
1?
I think they
Well,
should tease anything they got, anything new they got coming to the table. You guys need to put showing some artwork. You need to show something other than looking at some Twitter user data mining stuff from your game files. There needs to be official word from DICE and the Battlefield Twitter account. There needs to be a blog post. There needs to be some artwork releasing. This is what you're getting in season 1.
And anyway, the data miner in Battlefield 2042, I'm sorry, but that was not like in Battlefield 1 and 5. Okay, I don't know, man. I feel like they're not really on point. What they're saying, it's not. It depends. Anyway, I'm just.
That could be also the devs trying to, get them off track and put something in there that's not going to be releasing soon. They could make false
But we
clues.
hear them less often now, which is my opinion. Anyway, I'm my my opinion on leakers. But
that to be fair, if EA, DICE, and any other publisher would want them to stop, they could send them a cease and desist letter. There is laws in effect for that type of shit. So if they really wanted them to stop, they could send them a cease and desist letter. So
it's part of the game, I guess. You're right. You're right.
So yeah, I think that was a pretty good. That was a pretty good chat.
Yeah, it was amazing, guys. Today, honestly, I want to say that maybe we're not gonna have a tomorrow morning tease on the season 1, but I think we cover well this last topic. Today, we talk about the opinion we have about the new update, the change that we like, the one that we need still, the tease about the season 1. We cover another few questions here and there. I think it was really relevant to the Battlefield game, indeed. Big thanks, guys. I so want to say thank you for the purposes of the podcast, for the people that will listen on YouTube. Go watch Battlefield and Chicken on Spotify. Go follow them on Twitter.
Chicken and Battlefield. You messed up.
Why I say Battlefield and Jesus? Chicken and Battlefield. Go follow them. Go follow Chicken and Battlefield on Spotify too. This is a platform. You're still doing all your podcasts there, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Perfect. Yeah. Sorry, Monkey Rogue.
It's fine.
You that's doing the outro. I will let you finish the
problem.
outro. I just wanted to add mine.
I just want to close off by saying I do think they're probably waiting for the May update to say something about season 1. But again, that's just a hypothetical on my part.
There's another update, isn't there? In May?
Yeah. So keep your eyes peeled for information dropping probably soonish because we're already almost in May. I can't believe how fast this year's going by. Goddamn, it's already spring. Jeez. Anyways, yeah, thanks everybody who is listening live on Discord. And if you're watching live on YouTube, again, you can always leave questions or comments down below. If you guys want to have a specific topic, maybe featured on the podcast, or want us to touch on a specific point, let us know. I also think there's a room or a channel in the Discord that you can leave questions, right?
Oh, I forgot to reactivate it. Jesus, I forgot.
Maple,
I should have done this.
Maple will reactivate it, and he'll leave it active.
Jesus.
And then we can just filter through that. And hell, we can even sometimes talk just comments. Just see what. Have a little comment section of the podcast.
No, you're right, and it's growing. We have like more and more people at each time. So we need to have this channel. My bad, guys. I will reactivate it next time. Still, I want to let you the last word, guys. If you want to say anything, please do. It's your pace, your place. I want people. If you want to finish on the last word, guys.
I'll just quickly say thank you so much for the invite to come on here. It's so cool, like to meet Road Monkey, and hear his opinions, but also to speak with you again, Maple, because you're just one of my favourite people. I admire you so much. Like,
you.
I inspire you. I just want to slip in there that it's Evil the Cat's birthday tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday a little bit ahead of time, buddy.
Thank you. And I do feel 20, but I am actually 42.
Ah,
You're at the age of the game, though. That's great.
age is just a number. Hey, shit.
We have the age of our heart, as they say. We need to keep the young heart, despite we're getting old. That's what it's part of staying happy. I think it's really important. It's even more important that people think, oh, you should have responsibilities and focus on serious. Yeah, but bro, we need to have fun even if we are we're getting older.
100%.
Yeah, I just want to end and say thank you again for inviting us on. It's been great. And if anybody has seen the missing guns, please let us know.
I just want to say before we leave, I saw in the patch notes they located the missing R in the PKPBP description, and they also located the missing M44 bullet. So they're finding stuff. DICE is finding stuff, and maybe they're gonna find some weapons to throw our way. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. It was a really good talk. I'm gonna go have my first morning coffee here. Actually, it's kind of like more afternoon now. But yeah, thanks to everybody listening and watching on YouTube, and I'll catch you guys in the next podcast. Peace.
Yeah. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.